Okay, so you're off to Montreal. First time. Huh? How exciting. Get ready, because this city, it charms you in both French and English. And yeah, you'll be tempted by those world-famous festivals, right? And the food. Way beyond poutine.
Though, gotta try the poutine.
Oh, for sure. Have to try the poutine. But for this deep dive for Going Insider, using a blog post called 10 Mistakes to Avoid for a First Trip to Montreal. It's from Traveling in My 70s, which is interesting in itself.
What's fascinating is the perspective. I mean, generic travel advice is one thing, but this is like seasoned traveler wisdom, you know? Like someone who's seen it all and has the stories to prove it.
Totally. Yeah, like their first tip, prepare for the summer weather more than winter. That throws you off a bit.
Makes you realize how intense those Canadian summers can get, right?
No kidding. Okay, so tip number 1, overlooking the French connection. Don't freak out. You don't need to be fluent.
Oh, a little bonjour, a little merci. It goes a long way.
Shows respect, right?
Exactly. It's about respecting and appreciating the local culture. The blog really emphasizes that while English is widely spoken, even just a few basic phrases, it enhances the experience, you know? And it shows respect for the city's heritage. The author even provides some easy phrases to try.
Love that. Okay, so being prepared. Tip number 2, those scorching Canadian summers. Easy to forget, right? Like you pack for snow, then bam, heat wave.
Underscores the need to really do your research.
Good time. All right, next up, tip number 3, underutilizing public transit. They're talking about the STM, Montreal public transportation.
Key for any new city, wouldn't you say? Saves money, plus it gives you a glimpse into how the locals roll.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they specifically mentioned BXI bikes. Perfect for exploring at your own pace. Oh, man. Can you imagine? Sunny afternoon, wind in your hair, those gorgeous Lachine Canal views.
That's the dream.
Total dream. Okay, tip number 4, sticking only to tourist spots. Like, come on, right?
The real magic is often, where is it?
Off the beaten path.
Exactly. This blog gets it. They're pushing for venturing out, like, to neighborhoods like Le Plateau, Mile End, places where you can soak in the real Montreal, you know, the local vibes, hidden cafes, all that.
It's one thing to read about a culture, it's another to live it, right?
Absolutely. Okay, get this. Tip number 5 is all about food. Missing out on Montreal's culinary delights. And listen, it's not just about poutine. Poutine's amazing. But we're talking Jewish delis, melt-to-your-mouth smoked meat, French patisseries overflowing with colorful macarons.
Okay, now you're making me hungry.
And don't even get me started on the Sugar Shack.
We'll circle back to that.
Oh, we have to. Okay, tip number 6, festival season. This is big.
Montreal, it's the A spot for festivals. Jazz festival, just for laughs.
Research is key here, my friend. Plan your trip around these, even the smaller local events. You could stumble upon a hidden courtyard concert, a lively street market. You just never know.
The kind of stuff you remember forever, right? Okay, tip number 7. This one surprised me. Skipping outdoor adventures. Montreal. For outdoor adventures.
Right, but the blog mentions Mount Royal specifically, like a little escape from the city buzz.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Hike to the top, stunning view, picnic basket, filled with those Montreal bagels we talked about.
Now you're talking, combining those experiences, right? Which, speaking of, tip number 8, not ignoring local customs.
Like tipping.
Yep.
Is it 15%, 20%? And of course, the bonjours, the mercis.
Makes a difference. Shows you're not just a tourist, you know.
You're trying to get it, yeah.
Like, it's unspoken etiquette. Those little things shows respect.
It's like you wouldn't jump into a dance without knowing a few steps.
Right.
Gotta respect the rhythm.
Exactly. And, on that note of being prepared, tip number 9, forgetting cash.
Ah, yes. Credit cards are everywhere. But those smaller places, markets, maybe even some of those hidden food spots.
It's about being prepared, you know. Respectful, plus those little cash-only places. They often have the best stuff.
The hidden gems, for sure. You never know what you'll find. Okay, last but not least, tip number 10 from our seasoned traveler. Neglecting the art scene.
This is where Montreal comes alive. The blog mentions a vibrant art scene, museums, live music. You can just feel that creative energy.
So it's more than just food and festivals, right?
It's about the soul of the city.
I'm getting inspired just thinking about it. Wandering through a gallery in Old Montreal, maybe you discover some local artist or late-night cozy jazz club.
And that's the beauty of this blog post. It's not just a list, it's an invitation. explore, engage, really discover the heart of Montreal.
Feels like we unlock a treasure map, right?
Yeah.
For Montreal. All the good stuff, the stuff you wouldn't find in those, generic guidebooks.
And it's personal, the way they write, the author, that bit about their mother in the Montreal summers. Hilarious.
So good. Okay, so let's say you're planning this trip based on all this. What's your top priority? What really grabbed you?
Honestly, those off-the-beaten-path food adventures, the Sugar Shack meals, I am there.
Good call. Good call. Better pack an extra suitcase, right? For all that maple syrup.
100%. But thinking about it all, the neighborhoods they mentioned, like Le Plateau, Mile End, for that local feel. Yeah. What does that even look like? Someone going for the first time?
That's the question, isn't it? How do you go beyond just tourist mode, especially in those areas?
Right. What speaks to you about Montreal? What are you seeking out?
Could be that bookstore tucked away on a side street, finding a new author, getting lost in the stacks.
Or maybe it's simpler. A cozy cafe, strong coffee, watching the city go by.
Or you're feeling bold. Strike up a conversation in French at the next table.
Whatever it is, it's more than just been there, done that, It's about those unexpected moments. That's what makes a trip.
Well said. So get out there, explore those streets, try the food, soak it all in, let Montreal surprise you. Until next time, happy travels, everyone.